Greetings, beautiful beings. Let's talk about the current energy changes that affect our moods, which leads into a terrible mood swings with all those huge highs and huge lows that I believe almost everyone is experiencing in these days. Now, what is happening? We are moving from that three-dimensional energy to the fifth-dimensional energy. If you are on the spiritual journey for a while, you are already in the fifth-dimensional energy. What does that mean? To be in the fifth dimensional energy, it means to have a awareness, to going through your transformation, to understanding your human ego and the human limitations and reaching up those other side, those amazing energies that guide you on your spiritual journey, that guide you in your healing, whenever it's your self-healing or to be in a service to the others. Now, 2020 has a very unique energy, the energy that gives us so much of opportunity for growth, and of course brings a lot of pain. We live in the three-dimensional world of the earth. Unfortunately, how do we grow here is from suffering. We do not really know how to grow very nice and peacefully from the unconditional love, because when it's everything nice and dandy, we are kind of in that sleeping stage. We are in that hibernizing stage, like the bear in the middle of the winter. So the earth stirred up the things. It brought up our pain, our collective human pain, our collective individual pain. Now, and we are starting to see more clearly. And too, so, you're having these highs and lows because you start fluctuating between these energies. So we know that the earth is three-dimensional energy. We are moving forward, but it is the living life, the human beings that are moving into this fifth-dimensional energy. The rest of the energy is very supportive energy to help us to get there, because from this fifth-dimensional energy, we can eventually, by let's say end of this life, we can ascend, we can have a physical ascension, and we don't have to return back to this life. Think about the one fact. The earth has been a three-dimensional part, a three-dimensional energy since the time of the Lemuria, the Atlantis. It didn't really change its dimension, but the beings that come here to this earth, they come here with a different dimensional energy and they learn to live here. They lower their vibration and descend more into the matter of this three-dimensional life and make a life here. And then eventually when they realize that they would like to go back home, they have to work that ladder toward that higher dimensional energy, transform their body, their consciousness, this wholeness into that higher dimensional energy and go back home. So earth is like this beautiful supportive training ground for all of us, and it's up to us to figure it out and go home. Of course, earth is transforming over the time as well, but as you are here in this body at the moment of now, in the 2020, you are living in the fifth dimensional awareness, in the fifth dimensional spiritual energy, in the three-dimensional earth, and in the three-dimensional body. Our physical body, the bones and the muscles, the meat on them, are the three-dimensional mass. Let's call it that way. So as you are in this higher energy, suddenly you realize that what you did, your transformation, the change of life, starting the new job or the business, started to work, and suddenly you allow yourself to be guided on this journey, and you can manifest what you need in your life. Now, as you're going through it slowly, that amnesia from your mind is going away, and you're really realizing how the life should be or could be. You suddenly see a solution to many problems. But sometimes the people around you, even your close family, doesn't see it the way how you see it, and so you become frustrated because you want to show everybody what a great life we all can have, but they are just not willing to see it. And so there's this part of the spiritual training when we learn to respect the others, when we need to respect the choices, because everything is based on choice, on your even choice to develop yourself in the 5th-dimensional energy, on the other people choice to stay in the 3-dimensional energy or the 4-dimensional energy and be where they are today. And if we love someone or this place unconditionally, we learn to accept that. Even Jesus Christ did. We know the stories of the Jesus Christ. He would not heal the people who did not have a soul progression, who didn't work toward the evolution or transformation of yourself. And that is a beautiful showcase of the unconditional love and the respect for somebody else's journey, that we can't create a shortcuts on this journey. We cannot make them much more easier, but we can assist them with unconditional love, compassion, understanding. That's what make it easier. And of course, the guidance to those who wish to be guided. Now, as everything kind of a nice and dandy, then all this, this amnesia, as I said, is kind of slowly going away, and we're starting having this clear vision, and you're starting to realize, like, oh God, here I am, with my ideas and spiritual life and everything's going well, but I'm trapped in this cage that I have actually created for myself, that I call this life. That there are so many dysfunctional parts of this life. There are so many dysfunctional parts in our society, in the whole world. I mean, there are things that works fabulously, and there are things that just need change, and they only can be changed if everyone wants to change it. So suddenly, we are supposed to go like upway, right? Toward our ancession. And so, of course, there are the forces that wants to keep you behind. Now, we're not going to go into the dark forces is holding us back and the light forces have to go forward. It is a time of the union. This is what 2020 is showing to us. We are separating ourselves more and more and more by our differences and who does what and how do we look like, and don't even get me started on that. And there's only, the question is, can we put our differences aside and combine together, find a new way of life that's going to collectively work for all of us? And of course, for that, you need a collective involvement in that. So, to the cage, we're going back to the cage. Here you are in your 5th-dimensional awareness when your life is going well, even your business or the work, in the time of the weirdness of the world of the coronavirus and everything that's going on. You are doing well, and yet you get depressed about what it's going to be, how this future is going to look like. Will my kids go back to school? Will there be the programs and the camps? Are we ever going to go on the vacation? Is there going to be enough food a few years from now? Like, you're going to start fluctuating in that 3-dimensional cage. The cage is a survival. Survival is very important to any life on, I guess, any planet. But we're going to just stick to the Earth. So what I want to say, the cage is not your enemy, but from here you kind of see it as your enemy, as it's like, oh, I had those shackles, I was stuck in the cage, and it's just horrible. You cannot even imagine how horrible it is. And you're fluctuating, you have a highs and you have a low. The horrible thing inside of you, it's the little inner child who, as much of healing as you have done so far, most likely need a little bit more healing. As I wrote in my book, healing yourself, it's like peeling off the onions, and there still are the little layers. And perhaps when we come to that tiny little sprout in the middle, that is our ascension point when we don't have to be here. But until then, there are still a little bits and the pieces that you need to peel. And at this point, I mean, you have gone through so far. It should be easy for you to go down there. The little difference is when you go down there and when you feel it's almost like it's a crash. This is how it feels. You're having a really good day, the things go well for you, and suddenly it's like snap with a finger, like something flies in the air and you go boom. You suddenly feel apathetic or depressed, or feeling that the life has no meaning whatsoever. Now, You may have this feeling like, if I'm gonna die today, it's absolutely okay, or right at a minute, it's absolutely okay. Now, this is a very different feeling when somebody is depressed for a period of the time and is contemplating kind of the suicide. It's a very, very different feeling. I want you to know that. So that is a difference. It comes in from the second to second. It's very low. It's low as you can go. And it just pushes you to look at your life. You can stay there and you can kind of dwell and wallow in the sorrow and the sadness and unfairness of this life. Or you can look at it for what it is with your clear vision, to look that, okay, you may have a childhood that was horrible, but your parents didn't know anything else, anything better. If they would be in the higher consciousness, if they were aware of their personal choices, it would have a different impact on your life. So with that way, you can look it back and you can accept it. You can look at it and says, they didn't know any better. Or anything else that happened to you, take a pen and a paper and write it down for yourself. Have your little, sorrow party and write it down. Says this happened. You can sit there and think of it. How can that happen to a little kid? And then it says, okay, as the Pleiadian says, obstacles shape the character. So, what kind of the character you receive from that? Are you a warrior who survives everything? Are you somebody who can change and adjust to any life situation to survive? That is rather amazing, isn't it? Or did you have this fabulous childhood and then later on something happened and it was harder to adjust to it? Yet you have adjusted. You changed yourself based on your life situation. And you are here today in the fifth dimensional energy. That is rather phenomenal. If you look that the soul that comes in this body has only predestinate period of the time to grow, to understand the things, to create something that's going to help the humanity for the future day when you are not here, and to figure it out the way to ascension. It's actually so short. It's like a race, amazing race at a time. And that's why they call it the game of life. And I want to tell all of you that you are doing a fabulous job. So we are on our way to ascension. It will be up to you if you're going to go for the spiritual ascension and want to stay back on the earth, or you want to stay in the realm on the earth and assist the others. Or you're going to go for the physical ascension when it means that you physically do not have to return back on earth. I'm not big convinced about it, taking the physical body with you, because I'm planning to be here until I'm old and shriveled and very, very old. I hope so. And perhaps we'll not need a body after that. So that's just a little fun part on the way to think about it. But the serious part is the physical ascension means that you don't have to physically incarnate on the earth, and you can go and do your journey, continue your journey to the oneness from up there up. Now, what to do in these days? Stay at the moment. Try to stay in the present time as much as you can. In the soul healing training, I teach my students to do this blue healing right hand position. So you put your left hand on the bladder, right hand on the mind's eye. You can literally just, lie down on the bed, plop your hands there. Again, left hand on the bladder, on your second chakra, right hand on the mind's eye. And what it does, it connects your bladder, heart, and the mind together. It actually feeds into the central and governing meridian. So it creates this oval of the energy, and it holds you in the present time. There are other modalities, which I have found out later, that call this, Donna Eden called this the hookup. She goes from the navel to the third eye. And I really like, You have a hand, put your hand on the bladder, just encompass it all. So you stay like that for the 5-10 minutes, or until you feel that your energy goes like, you feel like you take a deep breath and you are in the present time. When you're doing it, you focus on your breath, just focus on your breath, or on the sound, or something, anything, focus point that's gonna hold you in the present time. Being in the present time is quite a challenging exercise, believe it or not, because your mind and your body, and especially that victim inside of you, always wants to run in the past. What happened? How horrible it was? What if it's gonna be repeating? And forget about the things in your DNA. If you were born in a country that went through the wars, let's say the European, that is my descendant there, right? I'm from Czech Republic. The trauma, the famine, the hunger from the World War II is definitely encoded in my DNA because I had to work through it. So whatever happened, the trauma in your ancestry line, in the current bloodline that you are born to today, that may affect you. So there's that little voice that's like, oh my God, make sure you store the food because we don't want to be hungry. It's exhausting. Oh, the future, the future is doomed. What are we gonna do? Did you listen to this conspiracy? Oh, please, no, thank you. Let's just stay in the present time, present moment, and focus on now. So you can have a clear vision. You can have a clear vision only in the present time. Otherwise, you influence from the right of the past and the left of the future, or turn it in another way that you like. There's everything in this world that wanna shout in your face and it wanna influence you that you take its side. The clear vision doesn't have sides. Clear vision see it for whatever it is. Whenever it's the beautiful and peachy and amazing, or whenever it's really bad and dysfunctional. And then you always have a choice. What is you gonna do? How is your journey will continue? So again, staying in the present time, it's very important. Pay attention to your dreams. That's the number 2 tip. Now, once again you are in that 5th dimensional energy, you get a lot of training in your dream state, which is exciting because there's definitely a lot of help that you can kind of logically connect. Of course, there are your guides around you, there's your higher self around you, but the days get so busy and there's a lot. So you also get assistance in your dreams. You know that every time you close those eyes and you fell asleep, you are going through this amazing world of the wherever you go. It can be the parallel lives, it can be the alter realities, and it can be also what the Rudolf Steiner calls the higher worlds. Now, once you cross the passage there and you are in the neutral energy, and you do not have a desire to change anything up there. In your dreams, you don't fight the galactic wars and doing the changes as you would do on the earth. This is the time for your own healing. You may find yourself going to the city that you dreamed so many times, that city you have never seen in your earth life, or it may be the city that you know, but it looks a little different in that dream state. So let's call it's that parallel reality of the higher worlds. I mean, we have a different explanation and the words for the same way. And allow yourself to be guided. If there's something you're going through the earth life, let's say you're healing the shame from the childhood. You may dream in this world that there's something shameful happening to you, and you can change it. You can adjust it yourself. My favorite example is waking in the dream naked in the middle of the busy street. So what you do, you give yourself a cloth. You says, hey, there's a bag of the clothes. There's a little bush. Go dress up yourself. I mean, fix it. It's not a big deal. You will have a guidance then. However, these beings rarely speak to you. The guidance comes in the signs, in the symbols, and in this gentle guidance where you are guided into the situation that you're supposed to figure it out and that you can learn from. Same like, if you wake up somewhere plain down naked, then You get yourself clothes and you dress yourself up and it is fixed. Or you change it that you are dressed up. Like change the way how you feel. Up there you can change it. In the energy world you have 100% power. Just please do not go into any fights. That is just a test that you need to pass, because nobody needs us up there to fight or make a revolution in any kind. It's enough what we are doing down here, and look at that, yet we are still far away from uniting whole humanity together. So be one with that consciousness up there and change it. What do you need to change? Watch your moods. So when you have this huge highs and huge lows, which again are a little different than we used to have. It's almost like everything going well and you feel really happy, and suddenly it's like this zip, and it's like you breathe something in the air and it's just like whew, completely low. Stop for a moment. Go in your present time. Left hand on the bladder, right hand on the mind eye. Focus. Or go in your backyard if you can. Listen to cicadas. Can you guys hear them? They love to talk when I talk. I think we are the soul family, so I love cicadas. Go into the nature. Focus what it is. What is that your body? What is that energy it wants to tell you? Where it is, how it wants to push you into the cage and victimize you. And how you can just understand it. The healing of your childhood is in the simple steps: acceptance, forgiveness, and love. There's no magic wand to fix it. There's just your own personal work when you accept whatever happened and you start to understand why it had happened. And if somebody just was not able to be the more than you need them to be, you can definitely forgive them for that, and you can forgive yourself, because how long you will hold it within you. And the last step is the unconditional love, to you, to them, to everybody. Everyone deserves unconditional love. Look at your ego energy. Was it a victim or is it a bully? What happened to you? How did you learn to survive? Did you learn to survive to be quiet in the corner? Or did you learn to survive to talk a little bit more and be loud and make sure that nobody's going to ever pick up on you? Find those. There's no right and wrong. Once you understand who you are, that's what you can work on. The terrible victim is always, caught up more in these fears and, oh my God, how I'm gonna go through. And those who were more bullies, who were more stronger and says, you're not gonna mess up with me, they are really angry right now. They are just like, the burst of the anger that's going left and right. Now both of them, the fearful kind of the people and the angry kind of the people, they all have an anger, quiet anger, loud anger. But what it is, that energy is, I cannot control outcome of some kind of the situation. So instead of solving it right now, go back in your childhood and see, what is it you are not able to control? What happened to you? And the truth is, you were not. As a child, you did not have sometimes time, luxury, space to go anywhere else, to be among the different people, to live in the different family. You truly were a victim. From the one way, those who were the victims, and even those who were the bully. You were the victim of the life circumstances, not of the energy. I want you to know this. It wasn't the energy. It wasn't any dark energy or demonic energy that abused you. It were the people that shape you into who you are based on their choices. I hope that makes sense. So observe it before, because that all mirrors now. If I'm angry or if I'm really afraid, how does it spiral back in my childhood, and how I understand that situation up there, and how I see that now I'm a grown-up woman and I do have a choices, I do have a voice. And whenever it is, whatever it is I choose to do, it is my responsibility now to make the choice. And hopefully the choice is going to work out good for the others around me, or will affect them right way. Last thing, drink a lot of water. Did you notice that you feel dehydrated? That's what I noticed. I can drink like so much of water and I feel like I'm always thirsty. Our body is, 80%, 70 to 80% water. So yes, our cellular energy is changing, that fifth dimensional energy, yet it has to be compatible to that fifth dimensional body that we are in. Appreciate the body. Body is such a gift. That's Pleiadians always keep saying that. It says you have no idea what a gift you have, because you here you have a body that can make it changes in your world, physical and amazing changes. You are the creator. You are the God. We're just more self-destructive gods than the creative gods. So let's turn it around. So drink water. Appreciate your bodies. Stay away from the stimulants that are going to help you quiet anger or the loud anger, or the quieting the emotions. We have to go through our emotions. We cannot just medicate ourselves with whatever it is to quiet those emotions. It's go through to them and understand them, connect with nature. Now, this may be challenging because we are stuck home, and if you follow more rules, like me, we are more stuck home. And but you can go in your backyard, you can go for the walk, you can go for the beach walk if you're lucky enough to live close by beach. The forest, I think the forest is absolutely amazing in these days. So connect with the nature. Nature holds the codes with us. Earth support this changing life. Earth support our change into the higher vibrational energy, because Earth, as it has, I'd say the Earth is the three-dimensional energy. It holds the animal life, which is three-dimensional. It holds the plant life, which I think could be four-dimensional in its nature, and it holds the crystalline grid, like the mineral kingdom life, which is in a vibration fifth and higher dimensional, that it connect with that all the universal mind, the energy around. But in the whole big spectrum, the most I don't know how to explain it, that it makes a sense in my head and I say it right, but in this whole spectrum, it's the three-dimensional energy. It has a different aspect living inside that support the higher energies, but on its own creation, I do believe it's a three-dimensional. So again, but it helps you in those changes, in the changes into high vibrational beings. Ancient aliens live here in the Lemuria and Atlantis, that we know for sure in the beginning of the Egypt, because it created Egypt and the other cultures. If you to look, I would say we have a pretty good evidence that the ancient aliens live here. They were not three-dimensional creatures, because they would be stuck here and they would not have all these amazing things that are still left behind to share with us. And the earth life supported it. They accepted the animal DNA and love a little bit more. So, they have this survival kind of the thing that's helped the DNA to survive. But the earth life supported them, and life will support you in your life and in your continuous growth. So wear your glasses of the clarity, stay in the present time, stay in the moment, see what it is that you're supposed to see, not what the others want you to see. That is the key. And let's keep moving forward and forward and forward. So what I share with you what to do is the common thing that I have found in the ancient teachings, what Pleiadians share with me, what I found in the books of the Rudolf Steiner and the others, down through the history, who went through the sometimes tougher times than we are going right now, and they all focus on the staying in the present time, staying in the moment, seeing clearly what that is, to working on your moral code, understanding your ego and your life limitations, and where are you limiting yourself, and reaching up to the higher worlds for those assistance and the guidance and the teaching on the journey. When you read this book, they are not focusing on the current political stages or traumas or horrors that may have been happening. They all just pass forward this ancient teaching that can be turned into initiations on the grow. So we have been coming here and ascending since the time of the ancient Atlantis, I would say. And as we are beautifully and proudly leave this place, there will be the other souls who will be saying, oh my God, Earth, let's go there. And we says, oh, you have no idea. And they says, oh, no, this is the most amazing place. They heard about it and all those things that you can experience there. And they will be bright-eyed. And we will be bright-eyed saying, thank God we are done. So it just depends how you look at it. It is a beautiful place and we need to honor it. That Earth is a beautiful and amazing place. And so are these bodies. They are amazing bodies and we need to work on them, with them, to become one with them. So they support us in our mission and our journey. So I love you guys. Take care and please practice staying in the present. Write down your dreams. Work with your dreams more than ever. Stay neutral. Do your healing, especially childhood healing. Look where your ego is, victim or the bully. Drink a lot of water, eat the good food, connect with the nature, listen to cicadas. And that's it. Stay away from the stimulants. I love you and take care. Bye-bye.